Good morning, everyone. Now today we talk about Western Zhou dynasty history. Now, let's begin. The Western Zhou was the first half of the Zhou dynasty of Asia China. It began when King Wu of Zhou overthrew the Shang dynasty and the Battle of Muye, and intended when the Quanrong nomads seized its capital Haojing and killed King Yu of Zhou in 771 BC. The Zhou was possibly one of the provincial groups that achieved sacrifice to the Shang ancestor kings, and may have also at some point participated in the social federation of the Shang states. Those chiefs married Jiang brides, and it was with Jiang's support that Zhou leader, in the name of King Wen, launched a challenges to the Shang. On the third sortie down the Yellow River village to the east, King Wen's son, King Wu, as successor, engaged the Shang ruler in a place called Muye. The deity, according to the last calculation, was 1045 BC. The Zhou triumphed when the Shang was defeated. Despite the Zhou not having a unified culture before replacing the Shang dynasty, the unification post-conquest demonstrated their growing influence, especially in terms of the culture and political system. While the Zhou was initially based in the Western, especially around the Wei River village, which capital Anfeng and Hao. The eastern capital was in the former Shang, first east to the east with the capital at Luoyi in the Lower River village. As the eastern administrative and the military center of the construction of the Luoyi was clearly a strategy to offset the geographic disadvantage of the Western Zhou capital being located in the western, which created an axis of the power that linked to the two regions. The Western Zhou, its early stage, was successful for about 75 years, and then slowly lost power. The former Shang land were divided into hereditary fiefs, which becomes increasingly independent of the king. In 771 BC, the Zhou was driven out of the Wei River village. Afterward, real power was in the hands of the king, nominal vassals. Field records served from the early period and account from the Western Zhou period cover little beyond a list of the king with ancestor died. King Wu at first followed the paradigm of the Shang in establishing a central government on either side of the Feng River north as Feng Hao. King Wu died 2 or 3 years after the conquest, that his brother, the Duke of Zhou, took control of the government as a rent for King Wu's younger son, Cheng. The Duke of Zhou is a legendary character in Chinese history. He expanded the territory eastward and ruled respectively abdicating when the sons of the King Wu's come of age and took the throne as King Cheng of Zhou. Not even reign let Zhou country admire their political. However, a rebellion throughout the Western reign broke out, inspired by faction wishing to rule themselves. King Wu's other brothers, Cai Shu, Guan Shu, and Huo Shu, concerned about the Duke of Zhou's growing power, formed an rebellion with Wu Geng and the other regional ruler, and Shang remnants in the rebellions of the three gods. The Duke of Zhou crashed out this rebellion and conquered more territory to bring other people under Zhou ruler. The Duke of Zhou formulated the Mantle of Heaven principle to break back Shang claim to a divine right of the rule and the feudal Luoyang as an eastern capital. With a feudal Fengjian system, royal relatives and the governors and generals were given fiefs in the east, including Luoyang, is Jin, Qi, Lu, and last one, Yan. Well, this was decided to the Manday Zhou society as it expanded rule over a large amount of territory. When the Duke of Zhou spouted down as regent and handed back the reign of the power of the legitimate ruler, the King Cheng, this act is that for which the Duke is most revered. Having steered the Zhou through this greatest crisis, presided over the center of the kingdoms, the first king, King Zhao of Zhou, led an army sourced against the Chu and was killed along with a large part of the Zhou army. According to writing sources, in 957 BC, the King Zhao of Zhou launched an ill-advised attack on Chu. The Zhou were rudely defeated, 6 armies being lost when the king himself died, possibly drowned or killed. The 15th King Mu of Zhou is remembered from his legendary visit to the Queen Mother of the West, as you know, so-called Xi Wang Mu in Chinese. Territory was lost to the Xurong in the southeast. The Queen Mother of the West has a special stature in the Zhou dynasty. He was the highest wizard in the Zhou dynasty who ruled the world. This is the image of the Queen Mother of the West in the portrait of the Han dynasty. The emperor of the Zhou dynasty went to visit the Queen Mother of the West, which actually meant hoping that the wizard and god would support his dynasty. King Mu of Zhou, as his successor, did rather better against the Quanrong, a people of Zhou's northwestern frontier, but was unable to provide the permanent breakaway of Zhou's extant vessel. The kingdom seemed to have weakness during the Mu's long reign, so that fiefs that were originally held by royal bloc were now held by third and fourth cousins. Peripheral territory also developed local power and proceeded on par with the Zhou royal family. The reign of the next fourth king, King Gong of Zhou, King Yi of Zhou, King Xiao of Zhou, King Yi of Zhou, are poorly documented. The 10th king, King Li of Zhou, was forced into exile and power was held for 14 years by the Gonghe Regency. According to the Han Dynasty historical Sima Qian, who interpreted Gonghe as joint harmony in his record of the great history during the Gonghe Regency. The Zhou dynasty was ruled jointly by two dukes, the Duke Ding of Zhou and the Duke Mu of Shang, hence definitively transforming the state into a co-institution. However, according to Bongbong annals, and Gonghe Regency was a period in which the Zhou dynasty was ruled by a single person, Gongbehe in Chinese. This reading has almost certainly been confirmed by a bronze vessel inscription. The first year of the Gonghe Regency, 841 BC, is highly significant in Asian Chinese history, in that Sima Qian was able to construct a year-by-year chronology back to that point, but he said subsequent historians were unable to confidently date any earlier event in Chinese history. The king of Li overthrown may have been accompanied by the China's first recorded peasant rebellion. When Li kings died in exile, Gonghe retired and the power passed to Li King's son, King Xuan of Zhou. King Xuan worked to restore royal authority. The King Xuan reigned long and aggressively. Vassal territory were reclaimed. Tribute and trade relations with Chu may have been reestablished, and wasting incursions by a people called the Xianyun were repressed. The last king of the Western Zhou period was King Yu of Zhou. When the former queen's powerful father, the mother of Shang, joined forces with Quanrong Babylon to seek the western capital of the Haojing in 771 BC. Some scholars have surmised that the siege of Haojing may have been connected to a census right from the early time, before the westernward expansion. So Zhou neighbors withdrawn from the Wei River valleys, and the capital was reestablished downriver and the old eastern capital of Chengzhou near modern-day Luoyang. That was the start of the Eastern Zhou period, which is usually divided into the spring and autumn period and the warring states period. The king of the Western Zhou dynasty are below. First one, King Wen of Zhou, and his name is Shang, and his birthday and reign days is unclear. Next one is King Wu of Zhou, and his name is Fa, and his birthday and his reign days is 1046 BC to 1043 BC. Next one is King Cheng of Zhou, and his name is Song. And his birthday and reign days is 1042 BC to 1021 BC. Next one is King Kang of Zhou, and his name is Zhao. And his birthday and his reign day is 1020 BC to 996 BC. Next one is King Zhao of Zhou, and his name is Xia. And his birthday and reign days is 995 BC to 977 BC. Next one is King Mu of Zhou, and his name is Man. And his birthday and reign days is 976 BC to 922 BC. Next one is King Gong of Zhou, and his name is Yi Hu. And his birthday and reign days is 922 BC to 900 BC. Next one is King Yi of Zhou, and his name is Jian. And his birthday and reign days is 899 BC to 892 BC. Next one is King Xiao of Zhou, and his name is Pi Fang. And his birthday and reign days is 891 BC to 886 BC. Next one is King Yi of Zhou, and his name is Xie. And his birthday and reign days is 885 BC to 878 BC. Next one is King Li of Zhou, and his name is Hu. And his birthday and reign days is 877 BC to 831 BC. Next one is a famous Gonghe Regency. It stemmed from 831 BC to 828 BC. The next one is King Xuan of Zhou, and his name is Jing. And his birthday and reign days is 827 BC to 782 BC. Last one of the Western Zhou dynasty is King You of Zhou, and his name is Gong Nian. And his birthday and reign day is 781 BC to 771 BC. So, in order to keep in mind the names and all of the kings of the Western Zhou dynasty, I write this song. It is easy to remember it. 西周诸王歌 in Chinese. 文武成康昭，穆公仪孝仪，厉共和优宣，个个很神奇。Every king is very legendary. 谁能告诉我 ？Who can tell me? 修王在哪里 ？Where is 修王啊 ？So 文王，武王，成王，康王，昭王，文武成康昭，穆王，公王，仪王，孝王，仪王，穆公仪孝仪，厉王，共和 Regency， 宣王，幽王，厉共和宣幽啊。O is the king of the Western Zhou dynasty. The Zhou had already assimilated much from the Shang by the time of the conquest, including the use of the chariots, warface, writing, and bronze. Like the Shang, the Zhou ruler presided over the sharply hierarchical society and established a decentralized political system. A centralized government could not maintain the large territory that had been conquered, and so the ruling house sent out raised triced general, family, number, and the other noble to establish small states which would be loyal to the king. The policy of the Fengjian, it means establishment. Fengjian was instituted which decentralized the government and allotted land to nobles who acknowledged the supremacy of the Zhou kings. The Fengjian policy established a feudal system and social hierarchy which reigned top to bottom. You can see this map, this image of the king, 6 class in the society. The top is king. The bottom is slave. Each noble formed his own separated state with its own legal system, tax code, currency, and militia. They paid homage and taxes to the Zhou kings and provided him with social when necessary. In order to strengthen the king's position, the mandate of heaven concept was more fully developed. The king made sacrifice and the capital on the behalf of the people, and the people honoring him with their loyal and service. Then let's talk about religion and belief of the Zhou dynasty. Among the Shang concept developed by the Zhou was the mandate of heaven. They believed in the monarch and ruler as divinely appointed, which would touch deeply Chinese political soul and system. For centuries afterward, and which the Zhou ruler invoked to replace the Shang. After the Zhou conquered the Shang and established their own dynasty, they introduced several religion concepts relating to the supernatural power known as Tian. As translated as heaven, Tian was the super authority and ruled over everything, and was the source of the both otherworldly and earthly power. As you know, many Zhou's bronze vessel inscriptions referred to Tian. Tian was thought of as the domain of the heavenly bodies and supernatural separate as a vehicle for the god. Tian subsumed all spirit, including that the Shang king, thereby merging the Shang religions believed into the Zhou philosophy. In direct relation to Tian was the king, who was known as Tianzi, or son of heaven. As revealed in the Orkbun, the super god of the Shang dynasty has been the unrelating and horrible D, heaven as infallible and objective authority received securely and maintained in the bronze inscription. The mountain of heaven, also known as heaven's mandate, was the diviner source of authority and the right to the rule of China early kings. As you know, the Asia god or divine force, known as heaven, had selected it to conduct on its sake on earth. From the time they launched the conquest of the Shang dynasty, they claimed to inherit Tianming, the mandate of heaven, which was the supernatural blessing that granted them reasonableness. This concept comprised them receiving virtues from heaven, which they must be actively raise it in order to maintain their government. When the concept Zhou dynasty were beside in religious beliefs, the ideological came to hold more deeper political meaning, especially the rule was expanded to provide the concrete benefits for the people. The Zhou inherited the mandate of heaven from the unserving Shang ruler. In this way, the right to rule came by way of this religion decree from heaven. The Zhou proclaimed the reason for inheriting the mandate of heaven is that they were more worthy and virtuous than the Shang. The Shang were doomed because heaven had transformed its earliest mandate of more virtuous lineage. It was the Zhou. The Western Zhou marked a change in terms of religion in governance from its predecessor of the Shang. The expanding of the usage of the ritual bronze vessel, you will see the archiving below. This point being used in ritual ceremony. Those bronze vessels were inscribed to document political appointment, military victories, and other worldly accomplishment. As opposite to the Shang rulers, the early Zhou kings did not blindly follow the divination, although they continued using them without question. Divination and the other religious phenomena did not end in the Shang, but instead took a different form and the new dynasty. Although Erkbun found dating to the Western Zhou are much less numerous than those from the Shang, the bone preparation was elaborate and uniform, meaning that this form of divination was still closely tied to the centralized political power. This picture is Zhou bronze vessel. You can see it's small different with the Shang dynasty. With the Shang dynasty bronze vessel. The most popular form of divination in the Zhou involved using yarrow stalks, also known as the I King. As far as the dating of the I King is concerned, its literacy development and the linguistic usage shows the I King to be a producer of the later stage of the Western Zhou dynasty. However, even though the I King text could be dated to the late Western Zhou, this book derived from a type of divination employing the counting of stakes. Just rolling stalking is this one. This rolling stake used the divination in I Ching. and the taste does not indeed reflect this notorious origin. This means that the eating is based on each old divinatory pretexts that may date back to the Shang. We will introduce it in detail later. In the early Western Zhou, the highly developed bronze culture and Zhou elite in both locations were identical. Along with the spirit of the Zhou culture in various places, the consistent feature of inscriptional artifacts of Zhou elites found across the expanse of the North China allowed for the confident identification of the Zhou culture at one elite level. Both the Shang and the Western Zhou enjoyed a culture hegemony such the culture and religion standard separate outward from a cultural power, but this centralization no longer exists with a weakness Zhou in the Spring and Autumn period. In some way, the Zhou made significant advance over Shang. Human and animal sacrifice generally disappeared, and writing texts in the Zhou because much longer than and more sophisticated than any surviving writing from the Shang. The Zhou dynasty made significant cultural contribution to the agriculture, education, military organization, Chinese literature and art, philosophy thought, as well as political and religion innovation. The foundation for many of those developments had been laid by the Shang dynasty, but the final shape and its stylization appeared in the Zhou dynasty. The culture then established and maintained for almost 800 years enabled the development of the arts, science, and technology, and some of the most famous schools in the Chinese philosophy. The contribution of the Zhou dynasty provided the foundation for the development of the Chinese culture by those that followed, most notably the Han dynasty, which would fully recognize the value of the Zhou dynasty contribution, especially the rule and music system. It was the collective name of the series of the social habit which made by the royal family of the Western Zhou dynasty. It is said to have been created by the Duke of Zhou. Together with the patriarchal system, it had a huge effect on the political culture and philosophy in the Asia China. The ritual music system of the Zhou dynasty is divided into two parts. And one is ritual system, and the other is music system. The part of the ritual system mainly out what is the correct external pattern of social behavior, including what ceremony and responsibility each person should perform, and then finally a member of the social society was formed. The part of the music system mainly assemble the social and emotional pursuit within the advantage from the emotional point of the view, and creates a unified and harmonious social atmosphere throughout the experience of traditional Confucian music, with the collapse of the social society of the Western Zhou dynasty and completely destruction of the traditional ritual music system, Chinese history intend the Spring Autumn period and the Warring States period. Facing the social chaos in the Spring Autumn period and the Warring States period, Confucius, the founder of the Confucianism, strongly advocated the restoration of the traditional ritual music system in the Western Zhou dynasty. Next one will depend on specific understanding of the history of the Western Zhou dynasty, but interpretation of the inscription on the bronze vessel of the Western Zhou dynasty. I'm going to end my word today. If you have any question, please write to me. Thank you, everyone.